A 60 Minutes overtime conversation with Steve Kroft about his story on a proposed gun law being debated between red states and blue.
The concealed carry reciprocity bill. What do you think of it?
I think it would be a disaster for New York City, and I think for major cities around the country.
Who wrote this bill?
I did. My staff. Having a firearm is a constitutionally protected right under the Second Amendment. But
doing a story like this is like kicking a hornet's nest. Why take this on?
Because I think it's an important story, and I don't think that many people in the country know very much about it. What this bill would do would be to essentially make gun permits like driver's licenses transportable across state lines. So if you're allowed to carry a concealed firearm in your own state, you would be able to carry it in all of them.
I don't know if it was just me, but I didn't notice this in the headlines.
Yeah.
I mean, this could easily have passed you by, even if you are paying attention to the
Right.
news.
I think reporters know. I think some reporters know about it. The people that are NRA members, they all know about it.
As I understand it, this bill is the top priority of the NRA.
Oh, yeah. The NRA has been trying to get this bill, a version of this bill, passed for 20 years. The thing that makes this different right now is the Republicans control both houses of Congress and the White House. So it's a rare opportunity. They haven't had this opportunity before.
But if the NRA is being so aggressive with this bill, why is there no one from the NRA in your story?
They really did not seem to be interested in talking to us.
But you tried.
We tried. You know, we approached them through their press representatives and asked for an interview, and initially they were very cooperative and said yes. And then we had interviews that were set up and canceled the day before and then postponed sort of indefinitely.
Why do you think the NRA didn't want to talk to 60 Minutes?
I don't really know. I mean, I think that they missed an opportunity.
you know, the Army's gone the other.
It would have been basically the same interview that I did with Representative Hudson and with Tim Schmidt of the Concealed Carry Association. This bill, what would it do?
The bill would allow responsibly armed citizens to be able to continue to protect their loved ones as they travel from state to state.
I think all the positions of the NRA are presented in this story, either in narration or in interviews that we did with people that we knew understood their position.
You think it was fair?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you find that people assumed you had a position while you were reporting the story?
Well, I think that was certainly the case with the NRA, and I think it was certainly with the case with Representative Hudson. Look, I work at 60 Minutes in New York, and I know that if you armed everybody on the floor and allowed them to carry a concealed weapon, it would only be a couple of months before somebody was shot. That's New York City.
Yeah, I hear you.
And Tim Schmidt, that they thought we would come in and we would ask them tough questions, which we did. We would ask them questions that their opponents are raising in the debate. It's not a constitutional right to carry concealed firearms.
Well, so the Second Amendment doesn't, the Second Amendment simply says the right shall not be infringed.
You're from Indiana.
Right.
Did you grow up with guns?
I certainly went hunting with my father and my grandfather when I was a boy.
Gun control experts say...
One of my first jobs at CBS was covering the Southwest and based in Dallas, so I'm no stranger to red state America.
Steve Kroft, CBS News, Dallas.
And the people in the 6 states that I covered generally had guns and liked guns, and it was just part of their culture. They have a very high confidence in their own ability to use them and to be familiar with them. They're not afraid of them, as a lot of the people in the big cities are.
You went to Midtown Manhattan with Tim Schmidt, who was an advocate for the Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act. Why did you want to take him to the middle of New York City?
For visuals.
Tell me when you're rolling. Rolling.
You know, it was sort of like, okay, let's talk about this in the real world. Let's go to a busy intersection in New York City. We went to Columbus Circle and look around and tell me what you think. I knew he wasn't carrying because he would be in violation of the law. He'd be committing a felony. in New York. So I wanted to ask him about what it felt like to be in New York without his weapon.
Do you feel naked? Do you feel under threat?
I don't right now. I don't feel threatened. I do feel a little bit naked because I do carry quite a bit.
And also challenging him.
This is a lot different than West Virginia or Nevada or Arizona.
It is.
Somebody pulled out a weapon and started firing, you could have a lot of collateral damage.
You sure could, yep. And guess what? You could have that same collateral damage in almost any city in the country.
He said, by the way, that he thought lots of people right there were carrying guns.
Illegal guns?
It didn't stipulate.
I promise you, Steve, right now, there are people walking around us. There at least somebody has a gun.
Really?
We just don't know who it is.
I don't think this story is going to change anybody's mind. I think it's going to inform some people who don't know about it. But guns is just such a intractable subject with people. They have completely divergent opinions on them based really on where they live.